The definition of social psychology is often really confusing to people for one really strange reason. We define it as how people are affected by a real or imagined presence of others. Hi, my name's Connor O'Day, and this is Neurons and Norms. This is sort of a virtual textbook that we're creating on social psychology. Now, when we think about this definition, the real or imagined presence of others, this doesn't mean that we're thinking about like ghosts or imaginary friends or things like this, but it is sort of like that, right? So when we think about how other people impact us and how other people affect our own thoughts, behaviors, and emotions, people do tell us how they think about us. They tell us how to act. There are laws that say that you should behave in this way, and generally that impacts my own perceptions of what normative behavior is in that situation or how I should behave. Now, that being said, we also make a lot of inferences. I want you to actually think back to the time that you were walking down a hallway and you didn't know which room you were supposed to go into, and you were just kind of trying to figure out what the heck was going on. So you're walking down this hallway, and you just passed the hall that you were supposed to walk down, you were supposed to walk into, and the question is, what do you do in that moment? Well, if you're me, and if you're like a lot of people, you immediately start to think, oh my God, now everybody's going to know that I just missed my turn if I immediately kind of turn back and go that way. And I'm going to look like an idiot. In reality, no one cares at all. But they still impact our behavior. We still think about how am I being perceived in that moment. And what a lot of people do in that moment is they'll actually pull out their phone and they'll be like, yeah. And they'll act like they're calling someone. They're not actually calling anyone. Or they'll distract themselves. They'll pull out that phone and just sort of start to distract themselves. But what they do in that moment is they casually turn back around and go down that hallway. This is what we mean when we say that we are still impacted even when other people really could care less. Because we are imagining how they expect us to behave in various social situations, and we are making those inferences. So they are telling us stuff, and they are telling us how to behave, and they are giving us cues, but we're also inferring those cues as well. As always, we'd love it if you followed all of our socials. Doing this will make sure you see more videos like